Being a YouTuber is hard. And I know what you're thinking. Danno, you sit at a computer all day and draw and edit and you get to sleep in late and make your own hours. How hard could it be? And yes, you're slightly right in thinking that, but let me tell you that there's a lot that you don't know about. So, if you don't know who I am, hi, my name is Danno. I own a relatively successful shorts channel with a little over 3 mil subs, and I've been doing YouTube full-time as a job for a little over a year now. And it's now become my main source of stress, anxiety, depression, and self-hatred. Anyone who follows my Dear Danno channel knows that I've talked about how YouTube affects my mental health before, but even there, I haven't really explained everything. So, let me share with you the reasons that me and a bunch of other YouTubers feel like YouTube can sometimes be a burden. First up, self-hatred. Believe it or not, most of the torment of YouTube comes from self-hatred. Since you are now your own boss, there's no human resources or any workers' rights or anything to keep you from physically and mentally abusing your main employee, yourself. The Odd Ones Out actually mentioned this in the video where he talked about being a YouTuber, where constantly when you're trying to have fun or on vacation or even laying in your bed, your brain is constantly going, hey, you could be working right now. I've experienced this firsthand. I'll be out on a date, cleaning my room, or even in Ireland, and my brain says, hey, you're currently wasting your time. You were handed your dream career, and you are currently flushing it down the toilet because you are not working right now. And let me tell you, that voice in your head makes you want to die. Second up, undeserved self-hatred. If your favorite YouTuber is gone and hasn't uploaded for a couple months, 9 times out of 10, it's not laziness. It's either because they want to make their next video perfect, so they spend too much time on it, or because they have paralysis, a full mental block that's in their brain preventing them from working because they're so afraid of what they'll make won't be good enough for their audience. And they're scared that just one more bad upload will cause their audience to leave them. But completely undeserved self-hatred is when YouTubers blame themselves for things they can't control. If you're a YouTuber, you know what I'm going to talk about next. YouTube has a wonderful little system where every single video or short you upload, it ranks its performance out of the last 10 bits of content that you've uploaded. And the higher the number, the worse it performed. For example, and again, I'm going full transparency mode for this, my short about YouTube killing YouTubers was a 10 out of 10. The lowest of the low. See all those gray down arrows? That's code for the short did bad. Although, to be fair, it used to be red, and that was much worse. For me personally, actually, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and there was a YouTuber that said they hate the gray more because it just feels like they're dead. But yeah, when you get a 10 out of 10, you can see all the things that went wrong, and YouTube makes sure to tell you, hey, people swiped away more, people watch less of the video, whatever. And basically, YouTube is telling me, Danno, you suck, and your audience is tired of you and your content. Or at least, that's how it feels. Now, that sentiment may or may not be true, but in my mind, every single time I get a low score, my brain likes to think, well, it was fun while it lasted, but it's all downhill from here. This is the beginning of the end. But what's the funniest part about all this? Well, usually when a short does bad, it's not always my fault. Sometimes the algorithm just didn't pick it up, and it will later. Maybe the short will take months to pick up steam, or maybe it was just an off day. But it's okay, because no matter what, my community does still exist, no matter how much my brain likes to pretend it disappeared overnight. But again, no matter what, in my brain, the only correct conclusion is, Danno, you are personally responsible for this. And obviously, the goal is to get a 1 out of 10 on every short, but A, that's impossible, and B, it's incredibly rare to have multiple 1 in a rows. And sure, a 1 out of 10 feels amazing, but whenever you get literally any other number than a 1 out of 10, most people just feel depressed. Seriously, like the rating system is the bane of my existence, and many other YouTubers that I personally know. But anyway, speaking of statistics, do you want to know about the most toxic one? It's this graph right here. How you've performed in the last 28 days. And it varies from month to month, but most importantly, every single day it goes up and down and up and down, and sometimes it flatlines. And let me tell you, whenever it doesn't go up, it means you're gonna have a sucky day. You wake up, check the graph, and you hate yourself. Probably every 2 out of 3 days. And when it does go up, it doesn't go up for long. So even when I have a good day, most of the time I'm telling myself, well, I had a good day today, but tomorrow's gonna suck. Or at least sometime this week, it's just gonna stink because that graph can only go down again. And even worse is if it stays down for a long time. Here, take a look. Like, most people could only dream of getting 5 million views in 2 days. But from my point of view, YouTube has made me feel like that is not an accomplishment at all. And this is how. Let's take a look at my lifetime channel views. As you can see, it went up and it was at a steady pace for a long time until this big spike for Shorts Wars Season season 1. And it lasted through season 2. And then when season 2 ended, it slowly started going down and down and down, and it landed right here. Now, obviously, it's unrealistic to expect super high view counts all the time, right? I mean, Shorts Wars was such a big event. Except then, you get distracted by looking at other YouTubers. For example, Zach D Films and Cam Man have stayed at the top of their game for a long time. And either they've kept a steady pace at the top, or they've kept going up. And let me be clear, their content is peak, and they absolutely deserve it. But now you start thinking, wow, then if their content keeps going up, then there must be a problem with me personally, since their channels have done just so good. I'm not good enough, their content is better than mine, and my audience doesn't actually love me. And that's not even mentioning how it feels to have a brand new channel grow exponentially faster than yours. That really messes with your head. And to be clear, it's not jealousy, it's just self-hatred. Because you think, I should be able to do what they're doing. I'm in the same position, but I guess I'm just stupid. When in reality, it's not just skill, there's a lot of luck involved. A lot of right place, right time content. But a YouTuber's brain in the darkest days doesn't let you see that. Now again, from an outsider's perspective, my channel is doing super well. Millions of views across almost every short. But mine and a bunch of other YouTubers' brains just don't let us see that. We can't focus on the fact that, yeah, we're doing pretty good compared to others, because this graph tells us that we are just not good enough as we used to be. Or we're not good enough compared to other people. But in reality, there's just not a whole lot we can do about it. We can kick and scream and make the best content we think possible, but in the end, sometimes the algorithm just says, nuh-uh. And it feels like we're fighting constantly to stay afloat. And if we lose the battle, we just can't make a living anymore, effectively losing our job. So the terror is on our minds forever. And we can't take breaks because the views will dip. And a lot of the time, we're just stuck making the same content just because it keeps the graph happy. Even though a lot of the time, the content isn't what we want to make. And so, in turn, it makes you continue to hate yourself. And we're afraid of changing things up because the graph could decide to go down and just never come back up. And it would be our fault for experimenting. But now, here's where I throw a curveball at you. Because for the entirety of this video, I've made it sound like, well, just don't be a YouTuber because it sucks. But let me show you something. This is my view graph, and this is the graph of a stock price for a company. Notice anything similar? Yep, same up and down every single day. See, being a YouTuber, these problems aren't special. The stress comes from any job where you're higher up in a company, or you're acting as your own boss. See, if you own a business, let's say you sell toilet paper, the stocks will go up and down every single day, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. But I'm sure that when the stock prices drop, the business owners blame themselves, and they think, what can we do to sell more toilet paper? And that's where the kicking and screaming starts, throwing anything at the wall to recover. You know what, I guarantee you, that's where those Charmin Bear commercials came from, of the ones where they just love pooping. Probably because their numbers started falling and they were willing to just try anything at that point. So, moral of the story, being a YouTuber isn't a perfect job, but nothing is. People like to idealize their dream job being absolutely perfect, but literally everything has its downsides. You can be in the most perfect position ever and still find something wrong with it. Unfortunately, that's just how humans operate, finding issues with everything. Personally, I know somebody who dreamed of having a specific job their entire life, and now that she finally has it, it's become like any other job, with a fat stack of complaints. And I want to bring the point up that being a YouTuber does eliminate a lot of problems. Like, I don't have to drive anywhere, I don't have to be at work at a certain time, and I make a decent amount of money, so I don't have to worry about it. But as I've spent the whole video explaining, I've traded a lot of those things for other things that's gonna turn my hair gray one day. And last thing about why being a YouTuber is just so hard, most jobs let you be invisible. Even a lot of company owners, they're suits and they don't have their face everywhere for people to see. And if you have a bad day every now and then, sure, you've got some personal issues, but not many others know unless you tell them, most of the time. But being a YouTuber, all of these statistics are public info. And if you start becoming irrelevant, if someone doesn't like your content, if you say something slightly wrong in a video, then not only do you have a personal battle to fight, but now you have an endless number of faceless people telling you that you're horrible. Like recently, wow, homie only got this many views, psh, he really fell off. So yeah, all this to say, everyone has problems. Even your favorite YouTuber who looks like they have it all figured out. Big shout out to Jacksepticeye, by the way, for giving me the confidence to make this, because in a recent video, he was super open with his feelings about content and YouTube, and it kind of just sent me over the edge and pushed me to get all of this out there. So yeah. Anyway, subscribe, and if you want, you can watch my other videos. This one is about why AI is horrifying, or this one over here is a more lighthearted video about why the solar eclipse was just a disaster. But that's all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.